Hey everybody, welcome back to Big Red EDC. Ooh, today we got a little bit something different. What are we talking about? A fixed blade knife. Now I don't talk about EDCing fixed blade knives a whole lot on Big Red EDC because I know a lot of you do, but unfortunately I don't, and there is a reason behind that. I've told this story a few times, but if you haven't heard it, watched a video where I explained it. It has to do with getting a visit from a county sheriff because I was wearing a fixed blade on my belt on my own property, and yeah, it happened. So I don't EDC a fixed blade a whole lot because if I'm gonna get a visit from the sheriff on my own property, I wonder what would happen if I go out in town with it. But anyway, today we are going to be talking about the SK Blades Buck 212 Ranger. Now this was provided by SK Blades to the Pass Around group. So thank you very much to SK Blades for doing that for us. So first off, we can see that the 212 Ranger comes with a nice leather sheath. This sheath does not have a plastic insert in it. It's full leather. There you can see you got the Buck logo right there on it. But it's like a decent, well-made leather sheath. Snap closure right there, of course. And now this is pretty much a straight up and down belt carry, or there's not really an option for any other mounting, so it's pretty much a straight sheath. Zoom out just a little more. There we go. But there you go. There is the 212 Ranger. It's got an overall length of just shy of 8 inches. I measured it out at 7 7/8 inches. You got a 4 1/4 inch handle. With, by my measurement, I get a 3 3/4 inch grip length. Now this handle, it looks black. There you go. You can kind of see it there. But it's burgundy micarta. You can kind of see up there where the light is reflecting. You can kind of see. There you go. You can kind of see the micarta in the handle. But it's burgundy micarta. Aluminum pommel. Now up here on the business end, you see you got a 3 5/8 inch D2 clip point blade. Satin finish. 3 1/8 inch cutting edge. There you go. There's your blade art, if you will. Buck USA. And then you got the D2 there and the Boss heat treat. As we saw, Buck knife, made in the USA. Let's get some measurements here real quick. Get this out of the way and we'll get our scale in there. Now we'll start out, I'll put the knife in this sheath and we'll get it as a whole. We're going to start on a grams. So as a whole knife and sheath, you're looking at 155 grams or 5.5 ounces, which for a fixed blade, that's not really bad at all. Just the knife alone, we're looking at 3.8 ounces and 107 grams. So not too bad. I mean, 5.5 ounces for a fixed blade. That's not bad at all. Fixed blade and sheath, rather. Not too bad at all. Let's see. Let's take a look at that blade stock. What's our initial blade stock is sitting, comes in at about, right about 0.10. And as you can see there, it's got a really kind of drawn out swedge on that clip. Comes down to a pretty fine point now. Of course, my calipers don't read out to, but you're coming down to about 0.04 on the tip there. So it thins out quite a bit with that swedge, which I really dig the look of that. My overall take on the knife, guys. There was one specific reason why I wanted to review this knife. And as I said, you know, I told you I don't EDC fixed blades a whole lot. I carry a neck knife every once in a while that's a fixed blade. That's about it. The whole reason I wanted to take a look at this knife, review it, is when I hear the words hunting knife, this is pretty much the knife I think of. Now, of course, may not be the Buck 212 with burgundy micarta handles and aluminum pommel, but it's this style of knife. And the reason that I think that is because both my dad and my oldest brother both had hunting knives that were this basic style of hunting knife. And I mean, that's what I knew a hunting knife was growing up. And kind of like if you've watched my Barlow review of the old timer, the 280 OT from Schrade, this is kind of the fixed blade that gives me that same feeling of comfort that Barlow did. It just reminds me of home. It reminds me of my dad. It reminds me of my brother. And it's just, that is the whole reason I wanted to review this knife. And it does. And that's kind of funny because do I own a knife like this? No, I don't. But when I get it in hand and now that I have it, it does. It gives me that same feeling, almost, not quite as the Barlow did, but pretty much. Because as I said, when I hear hunting knife, this is pretty much what I think of. This is pretty much the style, whether it be micarta, whether it be wood, whether it be stacked leather handles, it's this basic profile of a knife that I think of. Clip point blade, you know, the little boot pommel. That is exactly what I think of when I think of a hunting knife. Feels really good in hand. I mean, that micarta, I mean, it's got some, you know, it's not raw micarta. It does have a covering over it, but I mean, it feels really good in hand. Just a cool, sleek, slender little knife. But there again, it's that comfort factor, guys. That's what I think of. It reminds me of family, it reminds me of home, and that's just awesome. If a knife can give you a feeling like that, I think you're on the right track. That's just me, though. But very, very cool. And thanks again to SK Blades for sending out the 212 Ranger for us to check out. I will put a link in the description to their website and the link to their 212. Now, Blue gave it an 8.5. It gave him a pretty warm fuzzy as well. So, good on you, buddy. Thanks for having my back. Now, this knife This exact knife retails for $114 on SK Blades. And as I said, I will put a link down in the description if you want to check it out. But as always, guys, I hope you guys find a knife. And maybe you already have, which would be awesome. But if you haven't, I hope you do find that knife that gives you that same kind of feeling of comfort and just reminds you of just the good things. You know what I mean? I hope I'm getting that across. But like this buck and that old timer Barlow, yeah, that big time thumbs up with the fishhook. Actually, two of them. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I greatly appreciate it. As always, like, subscribe, please leave me a comment. You know I love talking to y'all. And until next time, I'll talk to y'all later, guys. Bye-bye.